Hey, Krebs.
What do you want?
What you gonna do with all that gold?
All what gold?
All that gold inside your chest.
Stay away from Guybrush, you sea hog!
Arr!
Yikes!
Okay. Voodoo summons? Wait. On the dartboard.
Hey, WP.
Captain Threepwood, what can I do you for?
Barkeep, I'd like to order a drink.
What'll it be?
I think that will be complicated.
Can you make one of these?
A Tri-Island Tuna Colada? Arr, that takes me back. I haven't made one of these since I was a bosun under Captain Bo.
But can you make one? I'm really in the mood.
Aye, but it'll take some doing to scrounge up the ingredients.
Take your time. I'll just put this here for safekeeping.
Done! One Tri-Island Tuna Colada. Now I can get back to me darts.
Arr! Libations!
Ah, gimme.
Morgan, what do you think you're doing?
Don't ask me. Ask your crazy wife.
I'm gonna run you through, you high seas hussy!
Ladies, please. There's plenty of Guybrush Threepwood to go around.
Well, there won't be when I'm done with ya.
Get over yourself, Threepwood.
Yikes. Can't you two just work it out over a nice groggatini?
Guybrush Threepwood is buying me a drink?
Over your dead body, trollop!
Who are you calling Trollop, Schooner Mom?
Oh boy. Elaine, Tucklebear. Morgan's all bark and no bite.
You want bite? Ugh, you got it. And I'll throw in the bark for free. Oh!
Huh? Good for nothing words getting in the way of my killing.
Honey, you are formally summoned to appear before the court of Judge Grindstump in the case of the people of Flotsam versus Guybrush Threepwood, Mighty Pirate. TM.
Phew. Now I know who wears the daddy pants in the relationship.
You stay away from my boy's pants, or I'll hang you from my Jolly Roger, you Jezebel! And you, don't think you can totter around with some tart and not get a fistful of what?
She's a catch.
And conveniently not a rotten double-crosser.
I told you I had a job to do.
Sure, just doing your job. Tell me, aside from all the silver, how are the benefits?
Guybrush.
Do you get health care for the repetitive stress injuries caused by all the backstabbing and cutting off people's hands?
I said I was sorry.
Sorry? I can't pick my left nostril without risking a lobotomy.
What if
What if nothing? Goodbye, Morgan. I've got a wife to cure and an island to save. Mrs. Threepwood. Honey, why don't you please tell everyone how I've been trying to find a cure for the pox?
Don't you honey me, you two-timing cannon scrubber. I bet all this talk of looking for La Esponja Grande was all plot to spend time canoodling with your little privateering she-slag.
La Esponja Grande, yes, it's right over there, see?
Sure it is.
Please tell the court how this horrible pox is all LeChuck's fault.
LeChuck? That stick in the mud wouldn't know a good pox if it kicked him in the fundament. Heck, there wouldn't even be a pox if you'd gone through with the voodoo lady's recipe properly. But no, you had to wave that root beer bottle around like some sort of conquering hero. Oh, look at me! I be Guybrush Threepwood, mighty pirate! Next thing I know, you tried to replace root beer with root grog and bam! Pucks all over the place. Not that I'm complaining, mind you.
Okay.
Yeah, that's not going well.
Could you give the court some idea of what a fine, upstanding pirate your husband is?
Well, let's see. When I first met him, he was breaking into my mansion to steal a statue. Later, after shanghaiing a crew to take him to Monkey Island, he totally failed to rescue me from the evil clutches of the ghost pirate LeChuck, so I had to dress up a couple of monkeys in a bridal gown.
This may have been a bad line of questioning.
Then he left me hanging over a pit while he went looking for the treasure of Big Whoop. I didn't hear from him for 3 years after that. Turned me into a bleeding statue. Left the seat up. Oh, and that's not even mentioning all the times I've found myself tied up, manacled, or otherwise incarcerated because of his blithering idiocy!
You're too good for him, love.
Shave his belly with a rusty razor.
Honey,
Don't you, honey?
I'd like a second to think about my next move, Your Honor.
Make it fast! Your character witness is oozing all over my courtroom!
Honey, look! They confiscated your ring!
You let someone take it from you? Didn't I tell you never to let it out of your sight?
Yeah, but...
But me no buts, love of mine.
Your Honor, Buccaneers of Flotsam, you all believe that I, Guybrush Threepwood, Mighty Pirate, have brought this horrible pox to your shores.
Off with it,
Run him off the plank.
jungle beast!
What if I were to tell you that I could tame this unruly witness, prove my good intentions, and begin the process of curing you all of this hideous voodoo pox, all in one fell swoop?
I don't know. Maybe.
jungle beast!
Your Honor, I object. Defense is grasping at sponge-shaped straws here.
Denied! But get on with it, Captain! The hangman gets overtime if we keep him up after midnight!
With pleasure, Your Honor. Wenches and pirates, I give you Exhibit S, the wonder of La Esponja Grande.
I thought it'd be bigger.
Now behold, as a simple exfoliating motion of La Esponja Grande washes away the pox, restoring my wife to her usual, mostly pleasant demeanor.
Not working.
Arr!
Sugar cakes?
Off with it, head!
Get that piece of seaweed off me, you deep-sea doily diver!
Does the defense have any other pointless arguments it would like to make?
This is sort of all I got.
Then, by the power vested in me by the put-upon pirates of Flotsam Island, I summarily sentence you to be hanged by your pox-spreading neck until you are... Right there.
What? Woof.
What is the meaning of this?
My name is LeChuck, and I can tell you exactly what Guybrush did.
LeChuck? I thought he was a ghost.
I heard he was a zombie.
Don't listen to him!
You see, Your Honor, the pox is all my fault.
Listen to him!
For decades, I dabbled in the dark forces of voodoo, clamoring for power. I hungered for it. I yearned for it. I pillaged, plundered, and killed for it.
I can attest to all of this.
And it was my accumulated voodoo that infected you all. Dark, evil voodoo that was explosively released when I was once again defeated by the perpetually heroic Guybrush Threepwood.
He's not kidding. I've killed him like 5 times.
So you see, Guybrush Threepwood is not the source of this pox. I am. And I hereby throw myself upon the mercy of this court, or lack thereof.
Off with your head!
But wait, there's more. It turns out I had an unknown silent power urging me down those darkened voodoo corridors. A power far more insidious than I could ever hope to be. I submit to the court this journal, property of the... Quiet up there! The Voodoo Lady!
Ooh, that creepy lady who lives in the shack?
What the what?
In these pages, you will find detailed plans laid out by the Voodoo Lady over the course of many years to manipulate my never-ending rise to power. My hunger for voodoo, my seemingly endless cycle of ironically comical death and disturbing resurrection. My obsession with the darling Elaine. It's all because of her.
Off with her head!
To the jungle beast!
It can't be true. Can it?
Order! Order! I hereby call for the release of Guybrush Threepwood and the immediate imprisonment of LeChuck and the Voodoo Lady! To the brig with both of them!
I've had it up to me eye patch with all this land-loving lollygagging. I'm off to plunder me some treasure.
Don't worry about me, my friend. Go cure your wife.
Well, so far, it is red herring. It's a very complex one.
Well, I'm finally free, but now my pox-crazed wife is nowhere to be found. A mad scientist is hunting her for who knows what reason, and the legendary voodoo sponge that was supposed to cure her has turned out to be useless. Under normal circumstances, I'd ask the voodoo lady for help, but she's sitting in the jail cell next to my archenemy, who may or may not be my best friend, after it's been revealed that she's been the secret power behind most of my travails over most of my life as a pirate. Maybe I should have been a beekeeper like my Uncle Sid.
Okay, so I'm supposed to thank her.
Hey, you!
Hello, Threepwood.
You sent me on a wild albatross chase for La Esponja Grande and promised me it would cure the pox. But after fending off sexually ambiguous merpeople, a giant manatee, and your crazy ex-boyfriend, what do I get for my trouble? This. Sorry excuse for a kitchen sponge.
La Esponja.
Ah, I noticed you strategically left out the Grande from this worthless piece of junk. Once it cured my piddly leftover pox, it didn't have enough mojo left to cure Elaine.
It's not worthless. It is merely young. It must be brought to maturity in order to reach its voodoo-absorbing potential.
Brought to maturity? How am I supposed to do that? Give it a talk about the sponge birds and sponge bees?
Like all infants, La Esponja needs nourishment. It must be fed 6 special voodoo courses to bring it to adult size.
What sort of meal is that?
A feast for the senses. The menu, Threepwood. Take it, and serve the sponge a meal unlike any other.
And then?
It will grow.
Hey, neat. There's a map of the Flotsam Jungle on the cover. No more listening to bees and birds and boars for this mighty pirate.
Okay. Alright.
Hey, you! Again!
Hello, Threepwood.
You've been lying to me about LeChuck all these years.
My ways are my own, Guybrush, but rest assured I have never lied to you.
You're lying right now! All this time, I thought LeChuck was an inhuman monster. Actually, he was an inhuman monster, but only because you made him that way.
Did I? Or was I merely playing my role in a much larger play?
Stop trying to confuse me. We're tired of being puppets in your chess game.
This is no game, Threepwood.
I met Coronado de Cava.
My beloved. How was he?
Mad. Bipolar. Life ruined. Just another pawn sacrificed in your theater of the damned.
I never meant to cause him harm.
Sure you didn't. Have you seen Elaine? Of course, even if you have, I won't believe you.
So whether I have or have not does not matter.
Well, if you do, tell LeChuck and then have him tell me. Come on, admit it. You were manipulating Coronado.
Coronado was never touched by my voodoo, even though he sometimes begged to be.
I'm not sure we're talking about the same thing anymore, so I'll just shut up. So, when I was with Dakava, you might have felt something strange happen.
Ah, you are no doubt alluding to your brief possession of my physical form.
Ha! How did it feel to be the Manipulate Ted instead of the Manipulator for once?
It was curiously liberating.
You're weird.
Yeah.
About this feast for the senses,
What would you like to know?
the first course in the feast for the senses, the napkin. What's up with that?
The table must be set with an eye-catching napkin to entice the sponge's hunger.
Tell me about the napkin again.
The feast must begin with a cloth of such stunning visual stimulation that the sponge will have no choice but to dine.
The antipasta? Explain.
With the table set, a powerful aroma must encourage the appetite to grow.
I think my nose has been in shock since traversing the inside of a manatee.
I'm sure you will find something.
Can you tell me about the palate cleanser?
Before the main course, the palate must be scalded clean by a powerful taste.
Ooh, like grog?
No, not at all like grog.
It says here that course 4, the main course, is the sixth sense. That doesn't even make sense.
Ah, but it does. For where the other 5 senses are limited to the finite experiences of the present, the sixth sense satiates the appetite for the infinite possibilities of the future.
The future? How do I feed something the future?
You already hold the answer to that question.
What about the dessert? This is one hungry sponge.
Ah, what is your favorite thing about dessert, Guybrush?
Running out before the check arrives?
No, it is the pleasurable shock of something different.
Ah. It says the feast for the senses ends with a bellowing belch.
Do not worry about this. If you provide La Esponja the first 5 courses, the location of the final course will undoubtedly reveal itself.
Ah, my favorite type of responsibility. The one that takes care of itself. Alright, enough about the feast for now. Try not to get executed before I cure Elaine.
As you wish.
LeChuck!
Guybrush!
I would have bet my good hand I'd never say this, but thank you.
For what? I've caused you nothing but despair.
For taking the fall back there, and for exposing the voodoo lady. I don't know what to make of any of it, but now I can focus on saving Elaine and dealing with the pox.
It is the very least I could do. But be careful, Guybrush.
I'm always careful.
This from the guy who proposed to his wife with the cursed engagement ring you stole from my hold?
Is that a dig? Is the evil demon pirate LeChuck developing a sense of humor? This is weird. Where have you been? I thought you were with Elaine.
Well, after leaving Spinner Cay, Elaine and I set out to finish releasing all those monkeys I'd captured. After we were finished releasing the last of them, Elaine caught wind of your trial, went into a poxed rage, seized a passing clam schooner, and made a beeline for Flotsam Island.
That's my girl.
Needless to say, I took my own vessel and headed after her. But in the middle of the night, my ship was sunk by a rogue wave. I was washed up on an island of cannibals, from whom I deftly escaped, using many of the self-same skills you taught me back on the Jerkbait Islands.
You know, it's amazing how easily man-eating tribes can be reasoned with.
Knowing I needed to get here more than ever, I lashed together a few bits of cannibal leftovers and warthog sinew to build a makeshift raft. Unfortunately, that was soon eaten by the sharks.
Oh no!
So I swam. I swam as fast as I could for 3 days.
And arrived just in time to save me from the gallows. Nicely done, buddy. Have you seen Elaine?
No, not since she left me in a poxed rage.
She's been doing a lot of that lately. I risked life, limb, and manatee to get La Esponja Grande, and it's a puny, worthless lump.
What?
Soak up the gargantuan wonder that is La Esponja Grande.
That is La Esponja Grande? But wasn't it supposed to hold infinite amounts of voodoo?
I know. What a crock.
The size of the sponge is meaningless. It is what you do with it that matters.
Oh, yeah?
Well, you fight like a... Sit tight, buddy. Once I save Elaine, you're next.
Don't worry about me.
Stan!
Threepwood! No hard feelings over all those various civil and criminal charges?
Water under the bridge.
Great.
A bridge with a fast-talking shyster/salesman dangling from it. Ooh. What kind of souvenirs could you possibly be making out of the Voodoo Lady and LeChuck?
Oh, ye of little faith! Feast your eyes on the all-new People vs. LeChuck and the Voodoo Lady collection! Say...
Have you seen my wife?
Have I? That crazy sea devil hit me up for one of my patented and perfectly passable porcelain power pirate treasure maps before hightailing it for the jungle. If we're lucky, that thing will keep her going around in circles for weeks.
I don't suppose you'd be willing to sell me your eye-bending jacket.
Give up my jacket? That'd be like Samson getting a buzz cut, or King Arthur losing Excalibur, or Bluebeard dyeing himself blonde.
Huh?
Without my jacket, my salesman mojo would wither away faster than a hothouse orchid in a pizza oven.
So that's a maybe? Still trying to make a buck on my recently cleared name?
Nah, I sold all that junk to that Doro sap. I moved on to the next trial of the century. Flotsam Island versus LeChuck and the Voodoo Lady.
Sure you don't want to sell me your pupil-defying jacket? It's for a good cause.
This jacket stays with Stan until it literally falls off my back, Threepwood.
Okay.
What was that? Huh. Something sure shoved a short sword up his aft sail. What the? Morgan! What happened?
Went to get your hand.
You didn't have to do that.
Had to pay you back for all the trouble. Found Jacques. He told me.
What?
He told me.
What? What did the monkey tell you?
Aw, poor Morgan.
Singe.
Alright,
Lepidoptera flotsamus accelerus. Like many of its more common cousins, the sharp-toothed Flotsam Island moth has a penchant for noshing on articles of clothing. Where Flotsamus accelerus differs is in the pain of its bites, which can be quite annoying, and the rapidity of its meals. A swarm of flotsam moths can strip a man down to his undergarments in mere seconds, assuming the notoriously finicky moths approve of his wardrobe, of course. This must have been broken in the fight between Morgan and DeSinge. I hope the vole escaped. Auto trepanation helmet. Oh! What? My thumb! God, blah. It's broken. It looks like Desinge is using my hand to make something called the Jus de Vie. Did Desinge murder you too?
Is there something?
Vampiridae Flotzimus sucrosus, the Flotsam jungle firefly, are a common sight in Flotsam's jungles, which they never leave. Although possessing no natural enemies, the Flotzimus sucrosus has a notorious sweet tooth, drawing it inexorably to bodies of sugar water. The Vacalian wind control device? What is that creep doing with it now? It's locked.
I mean, we opened many things with this.
Oh no. This is where the Marquis keeps all the severed limbs of the pirates he's operated on. Hey, you never know when a sack of severed legs is gonna come in handy. Or footy, as the case may be. Sorry.
Okay, I think that was the only thing we were supposed to take. Wait, Creepy Shark, is that the lady?
What in the name of Bluebeard's hair dye?
Hey, no poaching! I have called dibs.
I think I may be lost. Shouldn't there be a creepy voodoo shack right about there?
There was, until they came to arrest that pox-spreading voodoo lady.
What happened?
First came the flames. Poor Senor Nipperkin went up like St. Elmo's fire. Then she emerged from the conflagration, mumbling ancient curses with every regal step. I never forget the baleful stare she fixed me with as she was left away. A look condemning me to a lifetime of suffering, shame, and regret.
Spooky.
And if that wasn't bad enough, I haven't found one bit of cool voodoo stuff in the wreckage. Come on!
Mob justice can be so unfair. Whoa! Uh-oh. Looks like these finicky moths won't eat a jacket that's encrusted with bacon grease, fish water, and manatee guts. Lucky me.